At Central Railway Station in New York City, there lived a poor beggar named Daniel. Every day, he survived by begging from passengers who traveled on the trains that stopped there. One morning, while stretching out his hands to strangers, Daniel noticed a tall, well-dressed man named Mr. Robert. Daniel thought to himself, "This man looks very rich. If I ask him, he will surely give me a good amount." He quickly approached Mr. Robert and began begging. But Mr. Robert looked at him seriously and said, "Daniel, you always ask from others, but have you ever given anything to anyone?" Daniel was shocked. He replied, "Sir, I am just a beggar. I always ask because I have nothing to give. How can I give anything to anyone?" Mr. Robert shook his head and said, "If you can't give, then you have no right to ask. I am a businessman. I believe in give and take. If you have something to give me, only then will I give you something in return." Saying this, he boarded the train and left. Daniel sat quietly, those words echoing in his heart. He thought, maybe I don't get much money because I never give anything in return, but what can I, a beggar, possibly give? For 2 days, he was lost in this question. Then on the third day, sitting near the railway tracks, he saw some beautiful flowers blooming on the nearby plants. Suddenly, an idea struck him. Why don't I give flowers to people in return for their kindness? He loved the thought and picked a few flowers. That evening, when he begged on the train, he gave a flower to every person who gave him money. People smiled, appreciated the gesture, and kept the flowers happily. From then on, Daniel made it a habit every morning. He plucked fresh flowers and handed them out in return for alms. To his surprise, more and more people began giving him money. And whenever his flowers ran out, fewer people helped him. One evening, as Daniel walked through the train, he saw the same tall man, Mr. Robert. Excitedly, Daniel rushed to him and said, "Today, sir, I have something to give you. Please bless me with alms, and in return, I will give you these flowers." Mr. Robert smiled warmly, gave him some money, and accepted the flowers. "Wonderful," he said. "You've become a businessman like me." His words once again ignited a spark in Daniel's heart. He realized, the key to changing my life is in my hands. I am not a beggar anymore. I am a businessman. He stepped off the train, looked up at the sky, and shouted, "I will no longer beg. I will create my own business." People nearby thought he had lost his mind, but Daniel was determined. 6 months later, at the same station, 2 well-dressed men stood waiting for a train. One of them was Mr. Robert. The other was Daniel himself, but this time, he wore a clean suit, a confident smile, and carried a business briefcase. Mr. Robert didn't recognize him at first. Daniel extended his hand and said, "Don't you remember me, sir? We've met before, not once, but twice." Robert looked confused. Daniel continued with a smile. "Once, I was a beggar who asked you for money. The second time, I gave you flowers. And today, I stand before you as a successful flower merchant." Robert's eyes widened in surprise. "You mean you were that beggar?" "Yes," Daniel replied proudly. "Back then, I thought I was just a beggar, but you taught me the rule of give and take. That rule changed my life. People weren't giving me alms. They were paying me for the flowers I offered. I used that money to buy more flowers. I sold them. I grew my small trade into a business. Today, I own a flourishing flower company. All thanks to you, sir." Both men smiled and shook hands as the train carried them toward a brighter tomorrow. Success begins with how we see ourselves. If we believe we are small, the world will see us as small. But when we shift from merely taking to giving, whether it is kindness, value, or service, the world responds with abundance. Daniel's journey reminds us, no dream is too big, and no situation is too hopeless if we dare to think differently, act boldly, and believe in our true potential.